In the gym industry, what we find is that there's so much confusion in how to actually get going and become one of these top gyms. So today I'm going to really give you some behind the scenes on the two components that it takes just to make a successful gym. And we want all of the gym owners who are aspiring to be gym owners and those who are actually active as gym owners to feel encouraged, because these are just the simple steps that it takes. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of behind the scene clips of what it looks like when you're doing these two components. And truly, it's just this simple. The only thing that we have to do is learn to practice on having good repetitions, on following a basic process so that you can make your life easier. And this is for sure. If you just keep your life much more simple, have a due process that you follow, and commit to it without fail, you'll see totally, you'll see a shift in your numbers. You'll feel a shift in the impact that you're having. And when you're at that point, this is all we want. We got into this business in order so that we could really create an impact. So hopefully that you have a dream that you're trying to accomplish. And taking these couple of steps will help you create that acquisition, and it'll happen. So hopefully you're looking forward to this, because when it comes down to it, this is what makes your dreams come true. So let's get into it. But before I get started, my name is Coach Eric A. Bradley, and we teach boxing. And over that course of that journey, what we wanted to make sure that you all had awareness of is, why is it that 90% of marketing companies don't want anything to do with the combat world at large? And if they do because they want to pretty much just utilize the sexiness of what it looks like in social media. But when it comes down to the actual brick and mortar, they don't want to really have a lot to do with this game. And I understand, because one of the reasons this is because, for one, trainers are very, very proud of what they do. Just the same way that I mentioned the word chefs. Chefs are very prideful. They went to culinary school for the most part, and they have a craft, they have a skill, so they have pride and they have an ego. Now, when you couple that with a competitive fighting, then there's a double-edged sword. It's a double entendre. And so it makes it much more difficult. So when you find any marketing agencies, 90% of the time or more, when you hear them speak about, have you worked with a boxing gym? Have you worked with a combat gym? They say no, because that's not what their target is. Their target is fitness. Those are numbers, and it's less resistance. So with that being said, we won't let that continue to happen, because I'm someone who's had a lot of success in fitness, but boxing has always led that train. And I've always coupled it with boxing. So what we're going to do is kind of shift our mindsets, if you will be patient with that and help kind of shift it so that it works in your favor. You won't have to really concentrate on trying to shove something down people's throat. You're going to give it to them in a digestible manner. Now, as we get to this, in lies results when it comes down to that. So, with that being said, let's get to the next part. The next part is now showing you, when you're starting to create these two components, the components to having immense success in businesses: first, audience, and operations. Now, when it comes down to audience, people need to know about what is it that you do, right? And how do people go about doing that? First of all, they promote. They promote with banners, they promote with posters. They basically let you know that something is going on at other functions. They promote it there. And you advertise. When you're going into the world of advertising, what you do, typically it's about taking some ad spend and applying it. And when you got that ad spend going out there, you're advertising to the world that there's something out here amazing that you're missing and missing directly out on. And so when you're doing that, what that's letting those individuals know is that something's happening that could benefit me greatly. Now, with that being said, the component that you must use has to do with understanding that this is brand awareness. For the most part, all you're doing is turning heads. You're not doing a lot of talking now. That's one of the main reasons people use just like in a movie. When a movie's coming out, they do trailers. The trailer's going to kind of give you a sizzle reel of what this movie's about and a couple of spike moments, and it closes with intrigue. And that benefits you because it makes you emotionally tied to it. So this audience thing is a real thing. Now, what we're going to do is get to this thing that will help really get people more emotionally tied to you. And what that is all about marketing. And what does marketing actually mean? Marketing literally means show me, show me. What is it that you do? And how is it that you do it? So we have to learn in our industry that you can learn exactly what they know and you can do it better because you have something much more awesome to show and display. Why? Because combat is the essence of life. It's the final frontier from accessible crossing over, showing courage, showing discipline, all of the things that matter on the planet to an individual. This is your life's journey. The journey is operating in a manner in which people understand that you have something specific. Now, here's the caveat. Herein lies the thing that you must know when you're showing people. You need to know who you're showing it to. All right. So, with that being said, what we do is let me show you what we do to make sure that not only we're talking to the people and we're advertising, we're promoting the things that we are doing, but there also in lies who identify the person. That takes a certain skill, but if you sell shampoo for cats that have allergies, it's not that unclear who you're talking to. So for that individual, it's not too big of a jump or a leap because they know exactly who they're talking to. But when it comes down to fitness, boxing, and all of these different disciplines, where we find the most difficulty is targeting who we are actually focusing on. So herein lies you're truly solving no problem. So you don't really have a dog whistle. The thing is to get the dog whistle so you can speak directly to that person. So how do we actually go about doing that? Well, here's the first thing that we do. First, we make sure that we understand what we're actually offering. So if you're in the fitness industry, one thing you can do is say, what is it that you do strongest? What is it that you do strongest? The first thing that I know that I did strongest was I was good with, mechanics, meaning movement. And so I studied kinematics of human motion, kinesiology. Movement is a really big part of the human makeup. And as you get older, movement matters more because you start to lose mobility. So that's an area you can start in. If you don't specialize in weight loss, if you don't specialize in muscle gain and development, strengthening, all of those things are a byproduct. But let's get more specific to what your actual niche is. Why? Because that dog whistle, it pulls in a lot more dogs than you understand if you know how to do it. Now, here's how we compartmentalize our category. Once you understand how amazing knowing who you're talking to, how good that works, that's when you can start crafting out what kind of method are you going to use to entertain them. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to create more of a series, something that can actually give them belief that you're committed to what you do. Not only are you doing that at the gym physically, but you're keeping them in the know. So I'm going to just take maybe 3 minutes to go through this section. And so hopefully you got your pens and pads and you're ready to take notes. But here's how we do it. Let's just say one of our companies will say the most important thing that in when you're going to learn this part of it is to take with a grain of salt, that your focus should be just to serve them in a way that there's no confusion in what you're doing. So let's just say I take categories. This is how I'm going to entertain. This is a company that we do business with. This is the Kempton. Okay. So with that being said, the categories and conversations start to make sense when you want to talk to the people. What do they see? What will they see when they come to that company? So first, they'll see that you have a array of conversations for them. First, who is Kempton, right? That's behind the scenes. Now you got some video content or pictures and images that show behind the scenes. Maybe it's the staff, cleaning or cooking or service in the pool, but the personalities that you tie to that is so important. And then the demographic, who are they talking to? Do they want more businessmen, more corporate leaders, or are they talking to people who just want to get away, family vacation? You have that kind of content. And that also is your dog whisperer to those individuals who you really want to talk to. And that's what gives you the most power. And it's almost a cheat sheet. Now, what is the Kempton experience? That experience is when you go there, you don't have to focus on thinking about stuff that you're having to deal with at home that does not bring you pleasure. So you're going to be able to hit the pool. You're going to have a beach accessible to you where they do a lot of different things, that whether you jet ski, get on a boat ride, everything that you don't have to worry about, food. And then you want to show them what are the other features. That content by itself will just crush it. Then the fitness experience. You can expect to go to the beach and do yoga. You can expect to feel something different. And this is just sort of variety of things that you can do for the content. And then a testimonial from people who have had an experience there. And so now you mark the first thing off the list. The two components are audience and operations. Now the operations is, how do you create all of these different veins that will drive people to you? The way that the housekeepers crush it on the inside, they do it systematically. Checkouts at 12 p.m., 11 p.m., they're on your hall, they're getting the turnovers, they're doing these things. That's a part of the operation. The other operation is, how are the people in the kitchen managing what they do? They have a staff of people who are prepping for the salads. They have people who are bringing the delivery. They have the people who handle the stock. These are operations within. And then when it comes down to the people who are trying to attract the people, you got the marketing department. Now there's the marketing department, and then there's the sales department. And the sales department, these are the people that are on the calls. These are the people that are shooting out emails. These are the people that are putting promotions together that have discounts tied to them or incentivizing people. So this operation is the money, but the other operations, like the kitchen, the stock, the people who stock, and the people who are actually doing the cleanup, because that's a big problem. If you get into your room and your room is not spotless, therein lies a problem. So all of these different operations matter. They matter. Who's sending out mail? Who's responsible for this? Well, these things should all be on a checklist. And within the checklist, this is where we all get it wrong most of the time in the world of combat. But lo and behold, that's over. I vied to make it so clear that No one's going to save you unless you don't want to be saved. Because if you want to be saved, understanding why is it that this game does not want to acknowledge those in our industry. I want to show you exactly why this bothers me so bad, and why you can't sit back and just salt about it. You have to have a purpose, in a presence of mind to do something. And in order to do something, you have to have a vision. You have to also have a team, and that's what you're going to need in the thick of things. When you're growing, you're building, and you're having people come into your fold, and they're actually coming in to take part of your team. And that's what's so great about this. And this message here, this was an email that had run in front of me, and it made me sad. It made me sad, but it affirmed what I've been saying the whole time. And there are people out there in this industry who have offered to start working and helping people in this industry. But the reality is, the only reason they're doing that is to monetize that for themselves, not because they really want to. And that's not a bad thing, because when it's all said and done, what I was trying to do is share this to the computer. But without showing you exactly who this company was, this is what it said. And read it. It says, what type of gym do you have? No physical gym. I'm online trainer, so on and so forth. But what else it did say? It said gyms accepted except boxing and MMA. That's what the content said. That rubbed me the wrong way. And those of you who know me already know that I don't play when it comes to uh, isolating us. And so therefore, going out and really learning what is it that they know and being able to share it with you is the most important thing to me when it comes to growth and prosperity. And this is our call to show the industry that not only are we going to not just figure it out, but become masters. And one of the things that I've been able to do is I've been able to make, a lot of blueprints. The only thing we have to get used to doing is understanding how important it is to follow those blueprints. And when you can do that, that's where the success resides. It's not our nature to walk down a straight line, but we put it directly on a straight line. The straight line concept is a real thing. And it's just like the old video game Pac-Man. When you eat one pebble at a time and you just march, you don't look left, you don't look right. If Pac-Man look left or look right, the goblins grab it. So you just stay one goblet at a time. And I know you just want to do a lot of things, but one thing that I know for sure, that the industry, we don't receive things well that come too easy. It seems too easy. I'm so used to having to fight for everything. And so that's the mindset that we have to get rid of, because one bite at a time is a real concept. Take it off a little bit at a time and grow over the course of time. But that's a compound effect. It's not 1% at a time. That 1 turns to 10, and that 10 turns to 100, like that. And this is where you find companies scale 600, 700% because of doing that one bite at a time. Those one bites calculate not 1%. Each one of those bites are something that's vital to the company. So if it's vital to the company, that means it's relevant. That means it's necessary. That means it's something that you need, and you're marking it off the list, opposed to doing all of these multitude of tasks that really don't compound into anything but more anxiety over the next few days. So here we go. Herein lies in our books that we have. I like to show our content because we work hard for it. We work hard for this. No one did it for us. audience here, and then, excuse me, operations. When those two things are followed to a dime, that's when you find success. And if you haven't found success yet, meaning you can see that we're going aggressive, you're speaking to one thing. So, what I'm going to challenge you today is that thing that you do well. Your challenge is to say one word, write it down, and that's what you're going to do. Mine's is skills. And everything that you build falls behind that. Yours might be 10 pounds. Yours might be golden gloves. Yours may be faster. Yours may be mechanics. Yours may be growth. Yours may be peace. Find that word and put everything that is behind that word a part of everything that I just spoke about. And when you do that, this is where you find people getting the plaques for $1 million. This is where your growth starts to become exponential. It doesn't feel like that will be the thing that's happening. It's like, oh, that's a slow burn. But even the tortoise walked slowly and won against the rabbit. So if you want to win against the rabbit, you have to have a process that's solid. And that's where every single individual that's in the corporate world on Wall Street, this is where they have found their peace because their process. Talk to wealthy people, they always are calm because they understand the essence of a peace of mind. If a person has a lot of money and they're wiry still, they're not keeping money. They just have a lot of money, but they're not wealthy. Because when you are smart, you learn behavioral patterns. And I just, there's no magic pill, but there is a pill that changes things for you. And over consuming yourself with working too hard with a wide cast net is not the manner in which you do it. What I'm doing in this series, and this series is titled Leveling the Playing Fields. It's as simple as what I'm saying to do. And a lot of you are opening gyms, you're running current gyms. In the minute you do this and follow this process, now remember, the marketing and targeting is one department. When you get into sales, you're getting into an entirely different operation. The operative process in sales is totally different. And when you start to do sales, it's not just compounding what you have accomplished in your marketing and your targeting, because, like I said, that is a process in which you will start to have the influx of the kind of people that you are truly talking to. But when you get the sales part down, it's like every day, the only thing that's happening is the increasing of your revenue inside of that gym. You're finding everything that you've ever wanted. And then you learn how to really create valuable growth for those people. So, does that make sense to you? I mean, did that gravitate with you? Because it gravitated when it was being spoken and done and walked through and learning through all of these different workshops that I had to go through, all of the different mentorships and all of the different coaching and all of the different hands-on exercises that I've had to do it, and then applying it to our company where it took our growth in our audience 8 years to get to the point that it had gotten to in social media. And once I learned the systems, I accrued in 4 months what it took 8 years to do. That's what you call compound effect of doing it right versus just doing it. So are you just doing it, or are you doing it right? Because if you're doing it right, the boxes are being checked. Once you understand how to build the audience and how to create the operations, are you following that? It's not the same thing. Audience and operations. Operations is a real thing. Do you have the checklist for the operation? Because if the check boxes are getting checked, doesn't matter if you got a million people working or not for you. Long as the boxes are getting checked, it doesn't matter who's doing it. So don't let that stop you. And when it comes down to the audience, are the people you're actually searching for, are they the ones that's messaging you? If not, you got to tweak that and make it clear. Who is it that you're solving the problem of? That's a big thing. So if there are further questions, make sure you message or leave it down in the comment boxes. We're taking messages and we're accepting calls until 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, no calls further that day. If there are questions you have, that's the time frame you have to work within, between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. That's a 3-hour window. If you don't have questions, that means you are already going to crush it. So with that being said, best of luck. This is leveling the playing field to reach higher. My name is Eric Bradley. Continue to watch, and I'll see you in the winner's circle. Peace.